Welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of Sports Shorts TV. Ronnie Rance alongside former head coach of the Southern Jaguars. Former? Is that the first time you've heard former on TV? Roger Cador, longtime coach for the Southern Jaguars, about to head off and enjoy his retirement, stopping by the LeBaire Studios. And then we have another guy who retired a long time ago. Tommy Chrysan will join us in the second hour, talk about his days pitching in the 70s or whatever at Southeastern. But joining me right now is a sharp-dressed man, Coach Cato. How are you, Coach?
Former.
Jimbo,
only you could say it.
Former.
I'm former. I'm no longer the coach. I'm former.
Former head coach of the Southern Jaguars.
I wonder if Alan Traylor can wrap his arm around it.
I mean, look! In a week's time, Smoke Laval, he's no longer at North Florida. You're no longer at Southern. Maybe the two of you and Skip can get together and have a lunch, huh? The former coaches. So.
Yeah, we'll do lunch. I'm telling you, we'll do some lunch. And the thing is, you know what? It was about time. With the situation that exists with the Saints, it was about time for me to get out of there because things weren't going what I'm accustomed to have happen when I'm accustomed to winning. And we were going to have a very difficult time winning the next couple of years. So rather than string it out, it's best to get out now.
Well, you also hadn't been feeling real good lately. You missed the end because you had some health issues and whatnot. How much did that play into your decision?
It really didn't because the health issue wasn't the kind that if I had the pneumonia. I mean, so it's not something that's going to linger on and be a part if I overexert myself. But that didn't play a part. Man, I've been thinking about this thing, and it had been weighing down on me. I mean, didn't sleep well thinking about it because I love my kids and I love my job. I want to do a good job and just couldn't do the kind of job I'm accustomed to doing in terms of wins and losses.
What's it been like? What's been the reaction by your former players, your current players? How has the last week or so been?
Oh, it's been pretty good. I think the former players are happy to see me go because, they're more interested in protecting the legacy. Well, in my situation, I really don't care that much about wins and losses because it's not a lot I can do with wins and losses once it's over with, Ronnie. But what is important that I did a job well done and I treated people right and helped a lot of people. That is what is important as I move down the road.
I mean, you think about all the people that you have interacted with over the years. I mean, it's incredible. And to see how far the game has come in college baseball. I mean, when you started out at Southern University, it was a glorified high school program. And
I don't know if you can call it that because when I told a story, I don't know why I didn't think about it sooner, is that I started out with a grocery basket of whatever the equipment in the grocery basket. And to even think that I grew that program beyond that, no field of practice, let alone play on. I was able to build that without state money.
Right.
Only school in the state that the state didn't give money to build a baseball field. And then have a dressing room now that, that the university took the first money I raised to finish the football thing. And I had no problem with them doing it because football has made my life a lot better.
Right, sure.
So, but then I was fortunate to raise another money to build that facility. So I've got a lot of stuff done.
When you look around the SWAC, you're one of the programs that has the locker room beyond left field, covered, cages. You got the field itself is in some of the best shape it's ever been from a drainage standpoint. And playing surface, you got a covered stands, great sausage po' boys, and the concession stand.
Oh, Ronnie, only you can talk about the food.
But that said, I mean, it's on solid ground to turn it over to the next generation, the next person to hopefully take it and run with it. What are you going to miss the most about your retirement from college coaching?
It's the players, the competition. One thing about coaches, we love competition. And competition is so important. But I'm going to miss people like you and Lenny Rollins.
Lenny Rollins.
Those are people that I miss. And that's what making Jacques Doucet and the fact that I'm a little different than most coaches. And you could attest to that. I'm not like most coaches. I'm relaxed and I love to have fun.
Right. You had to be proud of your team down the stretch. I know it was a rough year. You didn't win as many games as you wanted, but they did qualify for the postseason, had to play well down the stretch, and went over there and battled down in New Orleans. Obviously, Dan Canaveri kind of took over for you at the end there when you couldn't make it with the health issues, but you had to like at least how your team finished.
I loved the way they finished. This was one of my favorite teams, in spite of not being very talented, because they played hard all year. They gave it to me all they had all year. And as a coach, that's all you really can ask for. And they lost at least 8 to 10 games where we missed that scholarship kid. When Banks and I were talking, and I told him, I said, it always came down, we didn't have that scholarship kid to make that pitch,
right,
or that scholarship kid to field that ground ball, or to take that at bat. And when you don't have the scholarship kids, that's when it shows. And it showed, but in spite of that, they played hard. They gave it all that they had. I'm good with it. I'm in a happy place, Ronnie. I'm tired pushing water uphill. Kept coming back down.
He's Roger Cador. How many years, coach, as head coach over there?
33, and
33.
Been at the university 39.
Wow.
But when you look at from a student and everything, I've been a part of the university for a half a century.
Wow.
50 years, so it's been a long time. And the thing about it, and what I try to make people understand, is that I still feel young.
Right.
I really still feel young and energetic, and I still think I can do a lot of things. Just won't be in baseball.
Yeah. Well, he has done a lot. He's accomplished a lot in his career. We'll continue talking with legendary head coach Roger Cador. We'll take a timeout, be back from the LeBaire Studios right after this.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, HardiePlank siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Appliance Distributors of Louisiana are appliance experts who have been in business for over 35 years. ADL provides worry-free, full-service solutions for the whole home. ADL works with designers, builders, or individual homeowners like me when I was remodeling my home after the Great Flood in August 2016. ADL offers special homeowner discounts, just like the ones the builders get. Go to ADLappliances.com and see all the major name brands, or stop by their store, Nicholson Drive in Baton Rouge. ADL services the entire state of Louisiana, so call, log on, or stop by today. Appliance Distributors of Louisiana. BR Mattress Company is the only name you need to know when looking to buy a mattress anywhere in Louisiana. BR Mattress Company is located in the Live Oak Shopping Center on Florida Boulevard between North Foster and Acadian. BR Mattress Company offers all the top name brands at 50 to 75% off retail prices. That's a $5,000 mattress for only $1,500. BR Mattress Company is open 7 days a week, and owner Mitch Kimball and his staff will provide you with laser-like service and a PhD in mattress education. If you want the best night's sleep of your life, go see the experts, Baton Rouge Mattress Company.
Welcome back, everybody. Ronnie Rance here in LeBaire Studios in Baton Rouge alongside Roger Cador, the longtime head coach of the Southern Jaguars, who just last week announced his retirement as he will stay on with the university in a fundraising capacity this next year. You have, as you mentioned earlier before we went to break, spent over 50 years with Southern as a player and as coach in basketball and baseball and everything else. What would you say the thing is that when you look back on your 50 years, one or two things that jump out the most? What are those, what are the first couple of memories that you think back to?
I really can't. Well, if you go back as a student, I never consider myself even college prepared. Academically, number one, and secondly, when I had to play basketball, I wasn't prepared, but they told me I had to play. And I played, and I did quite well. And so I think that was surviving academically, because of my background, just didn't have a good academic background. But I worked hard. And my MO has been, and when my former players write me and say, congratulations on retirement, you were correct. Hard work do pay off. It has its value. That's my MO, working hard, just outworking the problem that existed within me. I outworked it, and then when I became the head coach in basketball, same thing happened. I wasn't a very good coach. I outworked the problem. Not having equipment, not having a field, not complaining, just finding a way to make things work. And the key is I wouldn't let my players complain. Found a way to keep them focused and positive in a really negative situation. So that's basically, and I became a better person because I found a way to help people think positive.
You had so many great memories, championships, winning SWAC championships, NCAA tournament appearances and all that. You had so many great players. When you think back to the great moments as a coach and those big victories or those moments that you remember, which one stands out the most? Is it '87 when you guys beat Cal State Fullerton?
That was a big moment, Jimbo.
In the UNO regional?
That was a huge moment. First time in the region and winning. But what made that so special is that because we didn't have a field and we only had a batting cage, one batting cage, and we practiced, this is the batting cage, and we practiced on a small surface where kids could only hit a ground ball to them and they couldn't throw it anywhere.
Right.
I listened to Al Ratliff, and I normally with the media around, don't let kids talk, and he was Muhammad Ali. You give me 1 run, 2 runs, and I'll beat him.
That was your starting pitcher that game.
Yeah. Here, this guy hadn't started all year. He was my closer. And he's saying, give me 2 runs and I'll beat him. And I'm saying, oh my. Well, Knox Nundley was a sportscaster for Channel 2 here in Baton Rouge. And he said, what is it going to take to beat Cal State Fullerton? I said, oh, man. The thing has to happen is that they come to Baton Rouge and New Orleans, and we have 100% humidity, and they go on Bourbon Street and stay out all night. He said, it'd be a cold day in hell when y'all can beat them. I didn't say anything. My wife was very angry, and she called the studio and left some. I said, don't worry. See, I had a really unique team in that they were immune to all of that. And they go out and score 1 run.
And win 1-0.
And the one thing we didn't do well was field, because we didn't field ground balls. And he had 1 ground ball with the bases loaded right back to Ratliff. He threw to Marco Patty. Patty threw to first base to Edel Davenport. And we got out of the inning. And everything else was strikeouts or fly balls. If they had hit the ground, and Stanley said, had they hit ground ball, they win easy.
Right.
And I said, I know, they didn't hit any.
Yeah, that was back in the day. For those that don't remember, that was, golly, it's 30 years ago now.
30 years,
yeah, it's 30
Jimbo?
this year. 30 years this year. It was 30 years ago that that was back when you played a 6-team regional. There were 8 6-team regionals. Only 48 teams got into the NCAA tournament field back then. And Cal State Fullerton was the #1 seed in that regional. LSU was the #2 seed in that regional, and Southern was the #6 seed. And you guys win 1-0. Of course, LSU wound up winning that regional in 1987 to go back to the College World Series for the second time under Skip Bertman. But they may not have done it had you not helped them out.
That's why Stanley and I have been good friends. No, it really was something. That was a historical moment. And that 2003 situation in Hattiesburg.
That was Ricky Weeks' junior year. He went on to be the first pick in the draft that year. Second pick in the draft that year. But you guys played in the Hattiesburg Regional, which was the last time Southern Miss hosted a regional prior to this year.
They should never be allowed to host another region because of what they did with the racist viciousness that
Of the
exists.
fans.
The fans but it was Southern Miss responsibility to take control, send security to protect fans and players, and they didn't do it. And Greg LaFleur.
Yeah, he was the AD at the time, was he?
No,
he
Floyd
wasn't.
Kerr.
No, he was
Floyd
before
Kerr.
Greg got there.
Floyd Kerr sent messages to the NCAA explaining to them what happened. They should have been banned from doing it because that's
Right.
not what America is about.
Right. Well, Southern Miss, actually, as we tape here this afternoon, taking on Mississippi State, they have to lose twice. If not, Southern Miss will be coming to the box to take on LSU next weekend. What did Coach Skip Bertman tell you when he found out you were retired?
I haven't spoken.
You haven't talked to his family yet?
No, I mean, the thing is, I've been so busy, and I feel bad that I hadn't talked to Stanley.
Yeah.
Is that, I've spent a lot of time with my family, my sister, my brother, Jonathan, my son, just discussing, going over the scenarios and making sure
Right.
it was the right thing to do. And it all came down. Jonathan told me, my son said, you don't need to keep doing this and, have people think that you have lost your ability to coach.
Right.
He said, because that's really what people think. And he said, you've done enough. You can't do much more. So you're not going to have enough time
To fix
the problem. So that was the key. And sometimes young people, you need to have them in the conversation because his opinion meant a lot to me.
What the next phase of your life? What does that look like? Do you know yet?
No, it's better than the last phase. I can't tell you everything, but
Right.
I know it's going to be better because I'm going to see to it. I'm a positive, forward-looking person. Love people. I'll be able to do a lot of things. There are things that I can do that people need. People need to feel secure. People need to be happy. People need to know that someone loves them and can help them do better, get them in a better state. That's where I come in.
Do you expect anytime there's change, in your case, retiring, and now there's going to be a new coaching staff coming in here, more than likely. We don't know what that timeline's going to look like or who that person will be at the helm. But if it is somebody that's not currently on your staff, if it is somebody outside, do you expect a lot of transfer, a lot of change? I mean, it usually happens.
They can't afford it. If scholarships kids leave, then they lose what we build with the APR.
With the APR situation. Explain APR to the person out there who doesn't understand it.
Well, if you want to be able to go to the NCAA regional, your APR have to be a 930 or above. When we had all of the issue with the data problem, we went to 400 and something. And then we brought it 150 points to 8 something this last year. We came up that far. And then this year, we look like we'll be about 980, which is beyond that 930. Yeah, so if some scholarship kids a new coach come in, and there will be a new coach, and they can't hold the fort down,
You know,
then they
and
go
there's-
back.
And if there's a mass exodus of scholarship players that they transfer, then it affects the APR, which then 2 steps forward, 3 steps back kind of scenario.
That scenario. I think that compliance will be fighting hard to make sure that the coach understands.
Right, what he's up against.
Yeah, and compliance have to protect the university, not the coach.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And by them protecting the university, the coach is protected, but they just can't let him come in and say, I want to do this, 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 and that way without, because it's a bad signal.
Right.
I think in the process, probably need to tell the coach, don't look forward to winning the first year or two. Just build a program and try to get your own players in. I think that might be the best scenario.
The over the weekend, let's talk a little fun. Let's talk a little regionals for a minute, because I mean this is a great time of the year for any college baseball coach. It's fun. I mean, over the weekend you had 64 teams thought they had a chance on Thursday, and now we know as by the end of tonight there'll be 16 teams left.
Wow.
And going into the super regionals next week. One of those teams that advanced. And it kind of ties in with the 30-year anniversary of your 87 win is Davidson. The number 4 seed out of North Carolina had never been to a regional. Their head coach had been there 26 years, so it had never been to a regional. They get into a regional, and the North Carolina regional, which is the number 2 seed, they're playing great. They go undefeated, 3-0 on the weekend, and they now advance to a super regional, most likely at Texas A&M. So they get to be the Stony Brook of 2017. Wow. But I mean, how about that? I mean, you can relate to how they feel pulling off some wins and Davidson, which is, how about this statistic? Davidson College, 1,900 students. Steph Curry went to Davidson.
Yes.
That's where the great basketball player for Golden State. North Carolina has roughly 4,000 faculty. They've got twice as many faculty at North Carolina than Davidson does students, but yet they go into Chapel Hill and pull off the upset.
That's what sports is so wonderful. And Stanley loved to talk about sports doesn't discriminate.
Right.
It doesn't. You can't design baseball. You can't design a play for your best player. He's 1 through 9, and in that rope, you're dangling over that cliff. Who do you trust? Right. Whoever grabs the rope, you have to trust. So whoever comes to bat, you have to trust they're going to do the job. Baseball is a wonderful game. It's the greatest teacher in life because everyone gets to prove themselves.
The parity is for real. I mean, the 11.7 scholarships that are out there across the board at the Division I level, it's made it so that, you know, the LSUs of the world, although LSU is kind of an outlier, but the big programs can't just have all the talent. You know, with 11.7 scholarships, it allows a Southeastern to say, hey, we'll give you 75% to come here, and maybe that kid's getting nothing to go to LSU, and he decides to go to Southeastern because he can get more scholarship. It's really made it so that the Davidson stories, the Stony Brook stories, the Coastal Carolina stories, where a mid-major wins a national championship a year ago, nobody would ever thought that a mid-major would win a national championship in college baseball, but they did a year ago. It's made it so that now the Southerns and everybody else of the world can have hope.
Well, the other thing that you didn't mention in the whole scenario is MLB. They're taking players now in the draft that should be going to college, and they're signing. So the dominant arms ain't going to college anymore. That guy who can get better in college, he's now signing and taking maybe $50,000 to $100,000 and playing pro ball. Those kids are not coming now. Not even the decent hitters. So that's what the biggest thing I see is happening. We knew about the 11.7 scholarship, but it's the arms that are not making it to college. And so Davidson and Southeastern and all the other schools can get a decent arm, but may not be a mid-major arm, and he gets better, and he creates problem.
Finally, Coach, before we let you go, you know, you've seen the SWAC change over the last 30 years, particularly, and really over the last 10 years, it's changed dramatically. What can Southern do, or what do you like where the SWAC is right now, and from a standpoint of the competitiveness. It seems like there's more teams now that have a chance to win from a year-to-year basis than there were 20, 30 years ago, where it seemed like Jackson State, maybe throw another one in there every once in a while, but it was a 3-horse race.
It was a 3-horse race, and when you look from 1986 to 2001, Southern and Jackson played for the championship every year except maybe 4 or 5 times.
Right.
That ain't gonna ever happen again. The swing of balance will go to the Texas school, because Prairie View, look for Prairie View to start dominating in Texas Southern, because they have money, they have facilities. Texas Southern does, but Prairie View does, and they can get junior college players, and they can get the 3rd level of white player that can go there, and they can get the number 1 level of Hispanic player,
Right.
and the mid-major black kids. So look for them to be a major player. And Alabama State, they'll probably go on probation in the next year or two, so they'll go back to being who they
Because
are.
Alabama State, you loaded up on the international players,
Yeah.
and they'll start to figure out that some of those guys
Yeah, the
maybe had a little
NCAA
more scholarship than they should have.
The NCAA's coming.
Right.
They're coming, and
Right.
look for them. Jackson State, they'll do okay, but I look for the Texas schools to be a big dominant player in the years to come. Because of money. They got money.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for coming and joining us here on Sports Shorts. Don't be a stranger. We definitely want to have you back plenty more. Former head coach of the Southern Jaguars. First time on TV he's heard that. Former head coach of the Jaguars.
Oh, man, I never heard it before until today.
Over 50 years on that campus, Coach. I'm sure that car is going to just drive itself over there. Sometimes you're going to have to realize, wait a minute. But you'll still be a part of Southern over the next year in the fundraising effort, and we hope to have you back here plenty more time. And make sure, see if you can't get me on that trip to Panama with MLB. I want to go down there and help with that clinic.
Well, you're in.
I'm in. All right,
There you
good.
go.
Thank you, Coach.
All right,
Always
big
been a
bud.
pleasure. Roger Cador, longtime head coach of the Southern Jaguars. We'll take a break when we come back. A guy who was a longtime pitcher many, many years ago. Tommy Chrysan will join us. We'll talk some NCAA regionals right after this. When it comes to you or a loved one facing a long-term stay in a hospital, there are other long-term acute care hospitals, and then there is AMG Specialty Hospital. AMG Specialty Hospital is a long-term acute care hospital known as a LTAC. We are designed to give care to patients who require an extended hospital stay. AMG Specialty Hospital focuses on putting our patients first, which is why 90% of our specialty hospital patients and their families would recommend us to others. Other LTACs will care for you. AMG Specialty Hospital will care about you. AMG is committed to delivering quality health care to our patients within the communities we serve. Go ahead, ask your doctor which LTAC hospital they would trust most for their own loved ones. If you're looking for a pretty hospital, they're out there. But if you're looking for the best long-term acute care hospital with great patient care, AMG is proudly serving 8 locations in Louisiana and 7 other locations within the United States. So when the best care is as close as this, there's absolutely no reason to go to any LTAC other than AMG's healthcare management for complex medical needs.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
BR Mattress Company is the only name you need to know when looking to buy a mattress anywhere in Louisiana. BR Mattress Company is located in the Live Oak Shopping Center on Florida Boulevard between North Foster and Acadian. BR Mattress Company offers all the top name brands at 50 to 75% off retail prices. That's a $5,000 mattress for only $1,500. BR Mattress Company is open 7 days a week, and owner Mitch Kimball and his staff will provide you with laser-like service and a PhD in mattress education. If you want the best night's sleep of your life, go see the experts, Baton Rouge Mattress Company. If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Wooden Haven Furniture Company is your furniture destination for timeless designs handcrafted by artisans from around the globe. Wooden Haven Furniture Company has furniture that can change or just accent your world at home. Wooden Haven Furniture Company.
Welcome back, everybody. Ronnie Rance alongside our new special guest, Tommy Krysan, joining us. How are you, TK?
I'm doing well. It's good to hear some nice words from Coach Kadar, and again, as everyone else, I wish him the best and have enjoyed having him as a friend for a long, long time.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's and I was telling him, you know, in the same week, Roger Kadar retires at Southern, Smoke Laval's let go at North Florida. You know, obviously, Coach Bertman's been retired for a number of years. I mean, those are three guys that were friends and coaches, kind of legends in these parts for a very long time. And, you know, who knows with Smoke, you know, he's still maybe young enough to be an assistant somewhere, or even heard his name thrown around for possible ULM job because he was up there back in the late 90s, and UL Monroe has an opening, and, you know, who knows. But anyway, it's the end of an era. It really is.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I've been in this market for over 20-something years on the air, and he's always been there. You know, I probably interviewed him the first month I was here, and, you know, knew him from back in the day when I played, and he was out at Southern as an assistant. And no, I'm lucky to call him a friend.
Well, hopefully, you know, we'll find out at some point this summer who the replacement will be. We know they'll have a bunch of people throwing their hat in the ring. Obviously, you know, a friend of our show and a guy that I'm very familiar with, Dan Canavery's on that staff. And, you know, if Southern's smart, they'll definitely take a long look at him because of all the things that Canavery can bring to the table from a PR fundraising standpoint. He understands the X's and O's of getting people eligible and getting eligible for the postseason and everything that goes with that job. That's the thing about college coaching that people don't really realize. You know, you're the CEO of a company. You know, some companies are smaller than others and bigger than others, but there's so much more to being a head baseball coach or head basketball coach or any sport college level than just simply what goes on the field.
I agree 100%. I mean, it's more than hitting fungos and working a guy out in the bullpen. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. I mean, it's a full-time job aside from the baseball coaching job of everything you have to do, especially you get into some of the smaller schools like Southern, where you got to wear more hats than if you're at a Power 5 conference school or a place with, you know, more resources.
Let's talk a little regionals. LSU, they go 3-0 and they advance, and that's not a surprise. That was to be expected. Eric Walker looked fantastic again in the championship game. No problem, 8 innings, didn't give up a run. But boy, Friday and Saturday was sloppy as could be.
Well, you know, you play Texas Southern with all due respect, and Ronnie, you've been there and done this. I mean, I don't care how many times you say, hey, this team won their conference, they got hot in May. Everybody knew what their record was and knew that I thought their third baseman, Camacho, their catcher, really good ball players. Other than that, they didn't have much. And I thought their coach looked like he coached them very well. They looked organized, a lot of little things they were doing. But LSU was just down. They played down to that. And the errors, I mean, Coach Maneri was just beside himself watching some of that stuff go on out there. And, you know, that contributed to, you know, Texas Southern. But, you know, coming up to the plate, they went to the plate swinging the bat. They knew Poche wasn't going to walk. He was going to throw it over the plate. The approach has got to be swing the bat. Well, they did. And they found some holes. And then LSU started kicking it around. And Tiger Stadium was kind of quiet there for a little while. Everybody was like, what's this happening in front of us? Then, of course, the bats for LSU woke up, and and Texas Southern didn't have the bullpen to finish that thing off, and they get the win there. Then they turn around against Southeastern, beautifully executed double squeeze by Southeastern. That was priceless. And I didn't know it was coming, but as soon as I saw the push bunt, I looked at the runner from second. I could tell he wasn't even going to think about slowing up. That was perfect execution. A lot of good players, including Taylor Schwanner, who was a Southland Player of the Year on that team. I sat with his dad for an inning the other day. A longtime friend of mine was on that first UNO team, that first D1 team to go to Omaha in '84 under Ryan Maestri. Scott Schwanner, he was there, and I had a nice visit with Scott. But Southeastern, I tell you what I was disappointed at, okay? And this may come as a shock to you, but I can't believe how few fans from Southeastern showed up at the box. Here you are, the number 2 seed, highest in school history. They're probably never going to be a number 1 seed. Probably never, okay? And here you have this seed. You're playing 45, 60 minutes away from the campus in Southeastern, and I was stunned at how few Southeastern fans were in the box. I'll leave that at that. I thought it was a good baseball team. Matt Rice is an excellent coach. He's got a good staff. They just didn't have the horses to get it done, and LSU is just better than them.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
You make a good point about the crowd, because just look at it like this: if the Raging Cajuns had been in there,
20 times more.
There'd have been a lot more red.
20 times more ULL fans by
Right.
far, maybe
Right.
even more than 20 times than what Southeastern brought. And look, I wasn't the only one that noticed it. And as you know, I graduated from there, played ball there. A lot of people I knew who were there, who were Southeastern people, having people like, where are the people at?
Right.
What happened here?
Right.
Why didn't the athletic director organize a couple of bus rides or something? I mean,
Right.
it was embarrassing from a Southeastern perspective, because that is a good baseball team. They're well coached. They've been successful for a while. It wasn't like this sparked up, flash in the pan, had one
Right.
big
3
good
years in
year.
a row now,
Yeah,
regional.
so, and to not have the turnout was very disappointing from a Southeastern perspective. And then, of course, they were going back and forth with LSU. Then they couldn't get the pitching they wanted or that they needed, and LSU persevered. And then, going into Sunday night, I didn't think LSU would have a problem beating Rice. And then Eric Walker, hello Friday nights next year, huh?
Yeah.
But no, that guy, he didn't go to a 3-ball count.
And it's incredible. 8 innings, didn't give up, didn't go to a 3-ball count.
Which is a lesson for all you high school guys, you youth players, you travel ball guys. Throw the ball over the plate. More times than not, they're going to get themselves out. You got teammates to help get them out. Throw the ball over the plate. You got a chance to be successful.
But
and Walker's not 95 and it up there.
Right.
He's 88, 89. He'll hit 90 every now and then, commanding all his pitches. But the key is he's throwing the ball. He didn't walk anybody. He's throwing the ball over the plate. The plate, Satchel Paige once said, the plate doesn't move. Throw it over it.
The thing about that Walker and why the future is even more bright for him is that, they talk a lot about him being 84 to 87 miles an hour, which is where he lives. And there's probably a little extra juice in there because it's a regional and all that. But his last pitch of the 6th inning was 91. I mean, I don't know that I've seen him throw 91 ever. And the fact that here he is in June, when normally you might think he might be getting tired after a freshman campaign and all these starts, for him to be able to show the ability and the physical ability to throw 91 late in the game, that means that it's in there. And then who knows? I mean, if this guy with that command and control and that excellent changeup, if he's now living 88 to 91 versus 84 to 87, that allows him a few more mistakes. That allows him to challenge hitters over the middle from time to time as opposed to trying to always nibble, which is going to make him even better.
And if his natural development of his body and strength, and maybe he's throwing 92, 94 by the time he's a junior, I mean, he's a first-round draft choice, and that's saying a lot. But he's an example of where Major League Baseball and college baseball is going. It's just go get an athlete. Kids need to play more than one sport in high school. I think it was 84% of the guys taken in the NFL draft this year played more than one sport in high school. That specialization thing that kind of became chic in the 90s and the early 2000s, that's going away. You look at Zach Watson, you look at Eric Walker, these young guys who've been able to perform and produce because they're athletes. You can take a Watson and say, hey, go play center field. He figures it out in a month, and he's great out there.
Right.
And, Walker's an athlete, big-time high school football player in front of big crowds in Texas. He's been under the gun, played in front of a whole lot more people than we had the box this weekend.
The Beck kid, the quarterback at Alexandria.
So you got to go get some athletes, and that's what Paul Mainieri has done. Maybe the move of the year, the move of the 2017 year. You ready for it? Zach Watson hitting behind Dykeman. Get him up there, a little protection. You know what I'm talking about. Because we saw Mississippi State walk Dykeman 10 times. You got a hot hitting Zach Watson behind him. He doesn't walk 10 times that weekend, maybe 5 or 6. So that could be the, Maneri's been known to make these little moves, LeMahieu and putting Austin Nola in years ago, that end up being good. And I think that's going to be another one of those, the protection for Dykeman, provided Watson can keep going. And this weekend, it looks like he can keep going.
The thing about Watson, it's not an exact science. I mean, I'll tell you, I did Watson's state championship game last year for Fox Sports. He was playing for West Ouachita, I believe, in the 4A finals. And I saw him, and I thought, all right, he runs fast and he's athletic, but the swing isn't pretty. It's not pretty. It's not a work of art, and not a big guy. I mean, he's skinny. But I only saw him the one game, and but the thing that I'm in, and so I would have never thought, I would have lost the bet if I would have thought that he was going to be such an impact player his freshman year. I mean, and neither did the LSU coaches, quite frankly.
No,
I mean,
absolutely.
he was the 5th or 6th outfielder on the roster coming out of fall camp. So they didn't see it yet either. But the thing that I've been impressed with, 2 things about him, Zach Watson, that had 4 home runs over the weekend, by the way, is the fact that, he's so much stronger than his size. I mean, he's listed at 165. Maybe by now he's 170, 175. But, I mean, the fact that he's 170, 175, he hits the ball as far as anybody on the team just about that's not named Dykeman. And then the other thing is that he just is – the moment's not too big for him. He's and it goes to playing other sports and things, and he's just a competitive guy. He doesn't shy away. If he's going to go down, he's usually going to go down hacking, not being passive, which I like. I'd rather him swinging 3 balls out of the zone than go up there and take 3.
Exactly.
And so that combination of just aggressiveness and the will to fail, combined with the fact that obviously he's a pretty good player. I mean, this guy nowadays, the sky's the limit. I mean, I thought Duplantis was going to play center field for 3 years. Duplantis.
Well, as fate would have it, they had to go tuck him in left because his arm was hurting a little bit.
Right.
So Watson, hey, you got to go play center.
Right. And
he took over, and then I'm thinking of Duplantis' arm's probably okay now, but he's still on the corner and doing a fine job. But Watson has just taken over this long line of center fielders who can run down that ball in the gap. They can turn and go get it. Decent arm. I think the arm's probably average, maybe a notch or 2 above average. It's not great. But he's athletic, and the will and the determination that you talk about, and the fact that he's so athletic, I think that just separates, and maybe 2 or 3 of them catches this year that he ran down maybe don't happen if the guy's not as athletic.
And Antoine Duplantis, I mean, think back to Mark Laird. Mark Laird, who's absolutely a center fielder and a good one, just happened to be behind Andrew Stevenson, who wound up being a 2nd-round draft pick. So I think that's what you're going to see with Antoine Duplantis. I still think Antoine Duplantis has a chance to play Major League Baseball one day, because I think his dexterity is such that he's going to be able to hit for a high average, and as he gets bigger, stronger, it'll help him. But I think Antoine Duplantis is going to be a heck of a player in pro baseball, but yet at LSU, he probably won't start next year because, Zach Watson's done enough. And keep in mind, he wasn't a center fielder. He was a shortstop. So that he's still got growing to do and learning to do, where at least Antoine played center field his whole life. So LSU's going to be solid left and center next year. As far as who plays right, to be determined. Be a bunch of different people battling for that. But man, it's just so funny how things change from February 15th to now, between the Coombs situation and oh, by the way, people ask, well, why did Coombs not play Saturday, Sunday? He's got a hurt hip. He hurt his thumb on Friday as well, so he's banged up. But Slaughter did a decent job, and so now you've got options, and you got a guy in Slaughter that's now engaged, and he's ready to go if you need him in a pinch hit role. So I mean, LSU's in a good spot, even though they didn't pitch very well Friday and Saturday.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, they're playing their best baseball. That's the key. I was on that list of people in early April, said, man, this doesn't look like an Omaha team. This doesn't look like a team that's going to be a national seed. But, as we've seen happen before, they managed to get it done. And, they're playing as good as anybody in the country. Not that we've studied all the other teams, certainly Oregon State, we can just read the numbers. And I have a friend that umps in the Pac-12, and he said, Oregon State, everybody come out the bullpen throwing, everybody throws out there is 95. So I got a report from an ump that had 6 of their games, said they are the real deal. But, so LSU's, they're going to have the Super Regional at the box, and they'll find out when that is and get all that ready, and they'll have the scouting report ready, and they got a great chance to go to Omaha. But let's point out, too, Stony Brook, Houston, Coastal Carolina.
Right.
It's not a given like it might have been many years ago, even though you're hosting that Super Regional. So there's still work to be done, I guess is what I'm saying.
Before we go to the timeout, take a break, I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, BR Mattress Company. It's located in Mid-City, right on Florida Boulevard, right between North Foster and Acadian. I discovered BR Mattress Company like a lot of people did. A lot of folks out there in the Baton Rouge area flooded this past August. People still rebuilding, getting back in their home. But even if you're not a flood victim, if you're watching us anywhere in the state of Louisiana, you need to go to brmattress.com. brmattress.com. They have unbelievable prices. I was blown away. We're talking about 50 to 75% off retail pricing at BR Mattress Company. All the major name brands. $5,000 mattresses for $1,500, $1,000 mattresses for only $250. And right now, if you go in there and you tell them you heard it on Sports Shorts, you can check out. I just got this sent over to me. They've got a special deal for $19.99. It's one of those electronic, adjustable beds, where the feet come up and the back comes up and all that, with a super high-end $2,000 mattress. The whole mattress set, which retails for about $5,500, for only $1,999. It's a special deal for Sports Shorts viewers. Go out there, give Mitch a call, or go to brmattress.com. Tell them you heard it right here and check it out. I was blown away by the prices. I got a mattress for my new home, and I've had the best night's sleep of my life. So check them out, brmattress.com. He's Tommy Chrysan. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the regionals, some of the surprises. Davidson. That's the Stony Brook of 2017. We'll talk about Davidson and a whole lot of others. So if you're a top 8 national seed, may not be where you want to be right now. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. Don't go anywhere.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Appliance Distributors of Louisiana are appliance experts who have been in business for over 35 years. ADL provides worry-free, full-service solutions for the whole home. ADL works with designers, builders, or individual homeowners like me when I was remodeling my home after the Great Flood in August 2016. ADL offers special homeowner discounts, just like the ones the builders get. Go to ADLappliances.com and see all the major name brands, or stop by their store on Nicholson Drive in Baton Rouge. ADL services the entire state of Louisiana, so call, log on, or stop by today. Appliance Distributors of Louisiana.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
BR Mattress Company is the only name you need to know when looking to buy a mattress anywhere in Louisiana. BR Mattress Company is located in the Live Oak Shopping Center on Florida Boulevard between North Foster and Acadian. BR Mattress Company offers all the top name brands at 50 to 75% off retail prices. That's a $5,000 mattress for only $1,500. BR Mattress Company is open 7 days a week, and owner Mitch Kimball and his staff will provide you with laser-like service and a PhD in mattress education. If you want the best night's sleep of your life, go see the experts, Baton Rouge Mattress Company.
Welcome back, everybody, to the LeBaire Studios here. I'm Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Chrysan. Coming up at LeBaire's, how about this? Morris Day, the bird. From if you ever watched the movie Purple Rain, which is, I recommend, it's the #1 soundtrack of all time. Bee Gees #2 with Saturday Night Fever. But the Purple Rain, which in my mind, just a fantastic movie. But yes, we know about Prince, but Morris Day and the Time were in the movie, and they had a bunch of hits, and Jungle Love and all of that. They're in there along with Apollonia 6 and Vanity 6. But Morris Day is going to be in concert in June at LeBaire. It's the second time he's been at LeBaire since we opened. He did a great show about 3 years ago. And so I'm super excited about that. If you want tickets, go to Ticketmaster.com or go by the Sundry store inside LeBaire. Get your tickets. He puts on quite a show. Not a big, not
a
your
movie
thing.
guy. You know that.
By the way, I know you're a big Hank Williams Jr. fan.
Back on Monday Night Football.
And my daughter saw him at the Bayou
Superfest?
Country.
He
went
announced
that
it
Sunday
there,
night.
from what I understand.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, but no.
She wasn't a big fan. She wasn't a big fan of Hank Jr.
Well,
I said, boy, Tommy, Mr.
Well, I've
Tommy
seen him
Christ
in
said
concert
this.
25 times, including 3 nights in a row one time. Lafayette, New Orleans, Biloxi. You think I wasn't crazy back then. But no, he's back on Monday Night Football, and I saw the interview with him that, he said when they got rid of me, it was 90% in favor of me, 10% not, and it was political and all that. But he's coming back. They recorded everything in Nashville this past weekend, and he'll be back with all his rowdy friends on Monday Night Football. And that's going to help a little bit because it was a popular thing, and stuff they did after just wasn't the same, with all due respect to whoever that was out there.
Little Bo Cephas coming back.
Yeah, it's a good thing for Monday Night Football. More people will watch at least the intro.
So,
because the Saints are on the first Monday night game, so there you go.
That's true. And I'm actually going to be there.
In
It's going to be
Minnesota?
in Minnesota. Yeah, I'm going up there playing some of the nice courses up there.
Well, you see, you need to know that the Saints are going to finish and end the season in that building because the Super Bowl's there.
Oh, is that the deal?
Yeah.
Is that right? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so the Super Bowl will
Wasn't
be
really
there.
looking ahead.
Well, no, I'm just telling you, they're going to open the season and then they're going to be there for the Super Bowl.
So let's talk a little bit about college baseball.
Sure.
We hit on it with Coach Kador, who joined us in the first half hour of the show. Parity is alive and well. You mentioned before we went to break the Stony Brooks, the Houstons, the Coastal Carolinas. That's just in LSU's history. Coastal Carolina winning the national championship last year, in my mind, is like the Roger Bannister moment in college baseball. Roger Bannister, of course, was the first 4-minute miler from England. And before he did it, people thought it could never be done. You would die if you ran a sub 4-minute mile. And like the year after Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile, like 50 people around the world broke the mile. And I think now that's what's happening a little bit in college baseball. When they saw Coastal Carolina make no excuses and come out of a mid-major conference and win a national championship, I think now other programs, other teams think, why not us?
Well, yeah, and Oregon State's in a major conference, but they came out of nowhere and won it a couple years ago. Fresno State and then Coastal Carolina winning it all really gave these other people, and they didn't even make the tournament this year, but they gave these other people, hey, if we can play the good baseball at the right time, we got a chance. We can do this. So I think it's been good for college baseball, and there have already been some big-time upsets in regional action across this country. A few things are winding up as we're in front of the camera now. So, but no, it's been some good stories, and I think we're going to get more good stories when we get to the Super Regional. And then I think it's always good when you got a team or two in Omaha that hadn't been there before. We're kind of used to all the same names and, college people that follow the college baseball year in, year out. But I think it's good for the sport to have some newness out there, like Coastal Carolina last year, who won it all, and maybe Davidson or maybe Bethune-Cookman, maybe one of these other teams are going to be the one this year to shock the world.
Yeah, Bethune-Cookman, of course, already has. They beat South Florida and Florida, and now they're in a winner-take-all game as we tape here Monday afternoon. Bethune-Cookman could be another Davidson story. Davidson advances to a super regional, most likely at Texas A&M. Louisville, no surprise, they move on. Wake Forest, Tom Walters, former head coach for the UNO Privateers, did a great job at UNO. Unfortunately, when they went to that Division III and the funding issue, he had the jet and he went to Wake Forest. Little hot seat last couple years. Finally hosts a regional, wins a regional. It's the first time Wake Forest has been to a super since 1999, the first year of the super regional format. So Tom Walter moving on.
Yeah, I got to meet him a few times. He was a head coach at UNO, and obviously he's doing good things. He'd had the private school experience at George Washington University before coming south. So, hey, I don't think that's certainly not as big a story as Davidson, but one of those two teams is going to move on, if they can win the Super Regional.
LSU, of course, will wait the winner of Mississippi State and Southern Miss. That game's been delayed as we tape here. They're playing 2 games on Monday with the weather over there in Hattiesburg causing more issues. Oregon State, no problem. They win 3 games by the score of 27-3 over in their regional. They'll get more of a challenge. They take on the winner of Clemson and Vandy that are in a winner-take-all game. By the way, if you happen to watch the Clemson-Vandy game, Clemson's third baseman, Grayson Bird, Paul Bird's son, wearing a big old beard. He's a redshirt sophomore, former LSU Tiger who transferred. Of course, Paul, former Major League great and 91 National Championship teammate of mine. But he's hitting around 285 over there for Clemson, and that's going to be a heck of a matchup there as well. SEC got a lot of battles going on. Nobody expected Florida to have to fight for their life. Kentucky is in a winner-take-all game in their regional against NC State, and they don't have any pitching left. Mississippi State's got to pull off the impossible. I don't think they can't do it. I don't think Mississippi State can beat Southern Miss.
Is good.
Yeah.
Southern Miss is good.
Florida State is in a winner-take-all against Auburn. That's going to be a great matchup in Tallahassee. Sam Houston State out of the Sun Belt Conference. Out of the Southland Conference, rather, at Texas Tech. They pounded them yesterday. We'll see what happens between Sam Houston State, their head coach, Sam Houston, former Matt Deggs, former assistant for the Raging Cajuns. Right. Long Beach State beat San Diego and Texas, so this will be a Longhorn matchup between Texas and Long Beach State. We'll tell you, I'm pulling for Texas. College baseball's better when the Longhorns are in the World Series. More people, bigger eyeballs.
Roger Clemens has 2 sons on that team.
And
both start.
And David Pierce, of course, the head coach there, former Tulane head coach, and got to know him pretty well. Bethune-Cookman, watch, that could be a huge upset. Arkansas beat Oral Roberts and Missouri State, so Arkansas in a scenario as well. Let me just get your opinion. LSU, no problem going to Omaha?
I think with the pitching and the way they've been playing, they clean up the defense that we didn't see on Friday. I think they end up in Omaha.
Could drop 1, but they'll definitely not going to drop 2.
I think they end up in Omaha.
Okay. So LSU going to Omaha. Do you think the Tigers make it to the championship round? They've got to win their bracket. They got Oregon State on their side. They've got LSU on obviously, and they've got the 8th seed, which we know is not going to be Stanford. It could be Cal State Fullerton.
Let me look at the bracket, and I'll send you an email.
Oregon State and LSU, that's going to be on the same side of the bracket.
Got arms for days.
That's going to be a pretty good matchup. Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it.
Always
former
fun.
Southeastern Lion pitcher, and want to thank Roger Kadar, former head coach of the Southern Jaguars, over 33 years. We wish him well in his retirement. We'll see you next week for more Sports Shorts. Have a good one, everybody.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.